welcome one and welcome the other two of you. Appreciate you being here. Don't worry, the crowd's gonna come. How you doing, Lily?
Doing all right. How are you, John?
I'm all right. I'm not real excited. The market hasn't been real excited here recently. It's like the first 15, 30 minutes of the day. It's the best part of the day. And the rest of the day is just so much of a waste. But I'm here. But we are finding stocks that are bouncing. We do find these plays running. Things keep surprising me. We've got a few stocks on the list today that are interesting. We've been covering a lot of stocks here recently that half of them are doing something, but as soon as they do it, they're coming back down. Yeah. I hate to promote it. But take your gains as soon as you see them, folks. I would love to see things. Here's my basic philosophy. If it's a rocket, it's going to come down. Just get off if it's going really fast. But if it's a nice slow growth, don't be in a hurry. I see lots of stocks growing for days and days, very slowly, taking dips, bouncing off of strong SMAs. If you're stuck on a 5-minute SMA, that may be scaring the dog out of you as you're trading through the day. If it falls out of all your SMAs and you're panicking, go back to the hour. It may be bouncing perfectly on that 200-day SMA on the 1-hour chart. Now is not the time to get out. You need to test it, see if it comes underneath. So I see we've got a few in line. We've got a few.
And we got about 6 watching. Hello, you 6.
Let's keep count. Who's counting? We are. We got a little counter up in the top.
We can see you. Love that shirt, by the way.
We got Belmore McKenzie here. Of course, we do. Mackenzie Brown, lest I offend somebody there. Chris McGinnis, who made himself a nice snag on NMDM. He just got it on the bounce. I saw that. That was sweet. Gabriel Bonin, thanks for being here, buddy. Hamid, oh, you're not going to force me to say that. We'll say Hamid or Mr. AA. I like that.
Yeah, AA.
AA. All right, we've got a couple stocks in line here. I don't have, actually, I got one stock that was requested from somebody else. Who was it? Oh, you're going to hate me for forgetting who you are. You know, we talk all day. Oh, it'll come to me. So let me jump on over there. It was funny, too, because when you brought this stock up, can you see that, folks? Lily?
Yep.
Hello.
Yep, that's good.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. We've been having some sputter problems here, folks. So we're making sure everything is sweet.
Oh, my internet went out before we started, John. So we might have internet trouble here. And I apologize if we do, but go ahead.
So, yeah, if it goes quiet, I'm kind of blind here. I won't know until I actually take a look, but I'll pick the ball up and keep running. Oops. This is BIOL, BioLace Inc. It is at 8 cents. Had 4% gains today. Penny stock on the NASDAQ. This is good. That means you can trade it for free. You can trade it pre-market, aftermarket. There's a lot of benefits to trading penny stocks on the major exchanges. I thought I had looked at this before. I had told Ben, the name came to me. I told Ben that this sounded real familiar. I think we talked about it in last week's live stream. Well, I went through the whole thing. We didn't. I went through my videos. We didn't. I narrowed it down to the fact that this was on my short list. I had found this as a hot chart and was going to talk about it, but it ended up getting bumped and we didn't talk about it. But it was still up here in my mind. So what does this company do? BioLace is a medical device company. I love those. They get their devices approved a heck of a lot faster than medication. And they're dealing with companies who have money. Big money to spend on the devices, where medications are being spent on consumers. That's where all that money comes from. They manufacture, market, and sell laser systems in dentistry medicine. BioLace's proprietary laser products incorporate approximately 266 patents and 25 patent pending technologies. And they've already sold over 45,000 laser systems in 80 countries. So it's not a startup company. We know that much about it. They've got lots of news over here. They've had, 9 consecutive quarters of year-over-year growth. That's what I'm talking about, just steady growth, not surges. You want something that's growing through the the different seasons and can bear up to whatever weight's being put on it. $44.5 million underwritten public offering for a Series H convertible share. They've created a different share here. Big investors put that money in. That doesn't affect your float. It's money they got, though. 4.5 million bucks. Then they created another really weird share here. It's a distribution of a dividend, Series I preferred stock, to us, the common shareholders. Now, I went in and looked at this, and it said something like you're going to get 1/1000th of one of these shares for every 1,000 shares you own. Well, that basically multiplies out to a millionth. The only thing I can figure out is there's no real benefit to us. It comes down to voting. This gives more weight to the votes for voting on reverse splits. That's what they said in it. Well, you and I probably don't hold enough shares to give enough weight to that little volume, a millionth of anything. People who own a lot of shares, it's probably going to give them an extra sway when it comes to voting. So I don't see the real benefit to us, but do some more due diligence. I may have missed something. I was just browsing. Then they've got some big news here. They integrate their laser technology with pet dental services, and they've gotten with an they're not putting the dogs to sleep to do it, anti-anesthetics. That's what it is. And then they have opened up a training facility to use their lasers for the dental sector. So they are working on getting their products in as many dentists' hands. And it doesn't just work on teeth. It works on soft tissue too, the gums. You can cut the gums in nice even lines with the right temperatures. So it seems like it's a real hot product. Looking at their financials, they're making money doing it. They did $48 million at the end of last year, and they're profitable. They're doing about $12 million every quarter. Steady revenues. We can't complain about that. Let's see. I had something else here. Yeah, I went through their SEC filings. They've got a NASDAQ problem here. They are, it says under $1 for 30 days.
They are
30 days. That's all it took. Not 6 months.
It's for a long time.
Really? Well, they only got hit for the last 30 days, and they've got until July 10th. Folks, that's 5 days away.
Now, this month, right?
They can get an extension, or they have to make an appeal. It's not an easy process, but they're not up against the wall. They do have things they can do, but it's not looking good right now. I don't see any filings about anything they've done to avoid this. And what this means is they'll get kicked off of the NASDAQ down to the OTC, where it's not free to trade anymore. You won't be able to trade it pre-market, after market, and it's going to take a hell of a chop on its price. Every time you fall down to the OTC, they scalp you. No doubt about that. So we've got to keep an eye on that. That is concerning right now. That is a current factor.
Extremely.
What was the relative volume around the company today? A little less, not much, but a little less. Normally doing 12 million, closer to 11 million today. And let me see, let's check out the share structure. Well, I don't know what the float is, but it's not bad. It's going to be under 27 million, which is pretty decent. So they're making money. They've got hot technology. They've just opened up a training facility where they're going to be training doctors to use this new product. So then everybody's going to want to buy it. But what we're concerned about is what's going to happen here. If they go down to the OTC, you may want to get out of this. Honestly, if you're invested right now, it's going to be a better price today than it is next week after they fall. I guarantee that. And it'll be a while before they come back. So if you don't want to hold a losing stock, you may want to weigh up your eggs right now. Let's take a look at that chart, Lily.
Sure. And this right here is your 6 month, your 4 hour chart. Definitely a downtrend. It lost that dollar range around November of last year. Pretty sure it was last year. Yeah, way back here. So I'm surprised it hasn't already happened. But I will show you
I'm putting 85% that they're coming down to the OTC then if they've been down that long.
Oh, yeah. So here, you do have a slide up trend. You got a pop here. It cannot maintain. There's no reason for it to maintain at this level right now. And it's trying to break out again, probably because it's going towards that last 5 days, the 10th. Yep, the 10th that John was talking about, for either to delist, go to OTC, or do a reverse split. I'm assuming you didn't find anything about a reverse split, right, John?
No, I
Okay.
didn't find anything, and that's always an option for them. However, they don't have a whole lot of shares to work with.
Gotcha. So right here, we had a climb from 6 cents. We hit 9. This is our current, what we're looking at right now. This is the breakout. That's on your 5-minute chart right there for 5 days. And then here's a 5-minute for today. So that's where we're at right now. But this one is extremely risky. It may only be it's being played just for this kind of news. And it's risky.
Yeah.
They go in, they spike it up, they take their gains, they'll leave you holding.
Yeah, we were playing
bounces it's going
for,
somewhere
for a long time. Anything going bankrupt, anything failing to make the minimum bid price, we're falling down to the OTC. We expected a bounce just before they left the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
Then they came down, and then you get this dead cat bounce. Boom, yeah, boom. And then it stays down there. And you've got to be in and out real quick because it looks like it's recovering. It ain't. Don't count on that at all.
No, especially down here at 8 and 9 cents, you guys. This one's done for right now until after whatever happens on the 10th. If it falls to OTC, if they reverse split, you can give it some time. Is that
after-market activity?
Yeah, this is after-market activity right now.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. And people will be like, oh, something's happening. Let me get in. I'll get some gains.
That's the bounce.
It's a no for me. It's
the suicide bounce.
And it did bounce up a few days ago at about 13 cents. But, that's you could buy a lot of shares. But that's a lot of risk, too, if it's going to go right back down, you guys, or delist. Just don't get caught up in that.
Too many other stocks to choose from.
That's right. Back to you, John.
All right. Let me see. I'm on the wrong stock there because you are quick. We're going to jump into what Belmore brought to me.
She can.
And she brought me a cannabis stock, but it really isn't. We keep looking at what we call cannabis companies because they deal with forms of cannabis, but they're not selling the flower. To me, that's a cannabis stock. When you're smoking, you're buying flower dispensaries. This is more of a biopharmatech. They're creating drugs primarily to work with autism. And they just had news come out here July 5th. The company announced that it had been granted final approval for its double-blind, placebo-controlled phase 2 clinical trial for the treatment of autism spectrum disorder from the Israel Ministry of Health. Now, a lot to be said about this. First off, it's a good thing it's not being done here in the United States. These CBD, THC drugs ain't getting a lot of love from the FDA because they're cheap. However, autism, epilepsy, they're making headroom for those sort of drugs. And that's what this one is. The other thing is it's phase 2. So this is good news. You're probably going to get a spike on the good news, but this is still a long ways from getting there. It'll probably get some orphan drug or fast track designation. Phase 1 is to prove it's safe and it won't kill you. Phase 1. Phase 2 is how good does it work? That can be a while. That's normally 3 years. And phase 3 is how good are you compared to your competitors? And if there's a lot of competitors, that can take 5 years. So, we're looking at 3-5 years down the road. So this could be real good news for it. There could be a bounce, but it's going to be short-lived. Don't expect it to hold its gains. Would you agree with that, Lily?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking at it right now, John. So it's kind of in a downtrend.
Now, there's a big market here. Autism is huge. I was in California. I could not believe how many autism kids there were. The girl I was dating at the time was a nurse for them, and it was just unbelievable. They didn't have enough people to cover all the kids with autism. They say the cost for autistic Americans has reached $268 billion in 2015. By 2025, they expect it to be $461 billion. You're talking almost $500 billion just to care for them. And they say that 22.6% of parents are using CBD. That is going to be their active ingredient. I was going all through this news. They never mentioned what it was they were using. Finally, down here, they're talking about CBD, which is what one of the cannabis companies, I can't remember the name of it now, used for their epilepsy drug that was approved 4 years ago. And the stock went from something like $12 to $280. Woo! It exploded. It left the cannabis sector and went to the health sector. That was a huge deal. But now they've learned that long dosages of this oral drug are affecting the liver. There is a toxicity issue here. Nobody knew. So now they're trying to find new forms of getting it into our system. And right now they're putting out $1.8 billion a year in this type of medication just for autism. And there's not really a lot of competition out there right now. What else did we have here? They're not making any money. You always got to consider that. And that's what this company is, research and development. They're spending money constantly. And if they don't get it from us, they're going to get it from big investors. But if they don't get it, that's when they're in trouble because they got no products to sell. They don't generate any money whatsoever. Disclosures. We've got a bunch of 10Ks over here. They've been late filing one. They got that in. The quarterly's in there. You really want to know what's up with the company? Best thing you can do is just jump into those. Don't let them intimidate you. Just get used to what it is that they are. Most of them are laid out the same. Most of them are pretty easy to get through. Not all numbers. Lots of paragraphs. We got a few 8Ks, but they're old. Those are really old. Let's see what we got for some volume here. What the blazes? Wow. So we're at 0008. Woo. And we fell 1111, just a little over 11%. And she jumped from about 500,000 shares to almost 18 million shares today. Yeah. Wow.
It's because everybody's selling.
Right. I can see there was some selling. I've got to wonder. That's the one thing I really don't like about Thinkorswim. I may be wrong here, but they don't really separate in color the volume. Buy and sell. I see a lot of charts do that. And I'm wondering how much of this is buy because that was good news. There's a lot of people who have autism who want hope. So any of these drugs that work with kids, autism, epilepsy, they're always big sellers. Anything else we got going here? Share structure. It looks pretty high. Looks like maybe $750 million. Somewhere up there. I wouldn't go any lower than $500 million. Somewhere in that region. So let's see what that chart looks like. She's had good news, but it's going to probably be a while before we get more good news.
So this right here, you're seeing your 4-hour chart. So the past 6 months, definitely a downtrend. Pretty much staying between 0005 and your 0008. But right here, recently, we have a breakout. So I'll pull that up a little bit closer, the 1-hour chart for you. And see that, but this is where the volume is today. It's selling. I mean, they're getting out. Now, what's going to happen? Are they going to step back in? We don't know yet. And I don't know what caused this, John. Let me go to the next 5 days, 5 minutes. This is where you see that breakout, which happened yesterday morning. So I don't know what that was. Yesterday morning. And it hit 0015 from 0005. I mean, that's a pretty good move right there. But
I'm not seeing any news on that day. Oh, I'm at the wrong one. Hold on. Got to get back to my cannabis company. That was on the 5th, yesterday.
Yes.
So she had her jump for that one piece of good news. And, well,
whatever
it'll be a few more months. It'll be a year.
Probably. So it did do a nice move here, but this is all trickling back down. It's going up under your SMAs, and it's just either it's going to hold above this trend line or it's going to go right back into it, which is at 0007. We're currently sitting at 0008. So, I mean, I do look for it to fall.
She looks like she's trying to stay above it. She looks like she's not falling real quick, like she's slowing down, putting on her brakes, probably going to lay on the top of that channel, which would be an improvement. But as I said, all the losses are gone so quick.
Yep, it has to stay above that for me and be interested in considering this might continue on. Also gives you a little bit of time to check the news and see what that move yesterday morning was all about. But it could be over as well. So just be aware of that. Don't get caught into that. Because obviously, if that's the case, then there's a better place to buy this if you're interested in it. You see, we hit 0004, 0003, 0005. It likes to stay in those ranges a bit. So there's a better area to buy it.
And those are scary areas to buy in because those are normally long holds anyway.
Yeah, I don't like holding these long. I don't. If you were there for the move, great. Take your gains, get out. And if not, you wait for the next move. I don't like to buy it and say, well, let me just wait and see when that's going to, it could be 6 months. It could be 2 years. It could be never.
With pharmaceuticals. Yeah.
Yes. So you don't know. If they get any kind of bad news, it's going to be worse. So no, I don't do that. Back to you, John.
Okay. Which one do we have next here? No, it wasn't VCLN. That's the one I'm looking up for the next person. NMDM. I seen this was mentioned. Didn't actually ask me to look at it, but we had talked about this one in one of my videos. This is the 3D printing company. They make electronic components, circuit boards, all in one unit. You know, it was lots of pieces before that you had to assemble. Now they just make one unit, printing it up. Unbelievable. What did I find? Oh, the big thing going on right now. Yeah, they've got hot technology. The printer is what they're selling, but they've got this situation with it looks to me like a hostile takeover. They have been trying to buy as many shares as they can of the company Stratus Ltd. This is ticker STSS, I think, or I can't remember. They don't put it here. In either case, it's a tender offer. They are coming directly to the investors. They are not going through the open market. They're going to the investors. And the last time I looked, it was like $17, and they were offering $20.05. You sell us your shares, we'll give you $20.05 right now. Well, Stratasys is saying, don't do it. That's undervalued. It's not right. Well, they want over 50%. They've got 14% right now, and they're trying to buy 40 more percent, 38 to 40%, which is going to give them more than half. It would be a hostile takeover. They're very interested in it because Stratasys is doing a deal with Desktop. I haven't even had the time to check into that. I don't know what the ramifications are of this deal, this acquisition of Desktop. But since that point, and that is what they said, because of that, we want more shares of this company. So I would keep an eye on that. There was a deadline here of June 27th. It's not like there's an agreement or anything here. They just keep coming. This has been going on for months, about 2 or 3 months now. They've been coming to the investors, giving them presentations, showing them all the reasons why you should want to do this. And again, they just keep being rejected by Stratasys. So this is a big deal to me. If they succeed, I don't know what to expect. I would think something good. If they fail, well, no harm, no foul. I don't know. So that is what I see. There's nothing else new going on. She's at $2.89, and she had a bit of a drop today. Not a surprise. About 3%. Let's take a look at that chart, Lily.
Sure. So with this one, I went ahead and pulled up a 4-hour chart so you can kind of see it's not really doing anything. It's up and down, $2 to $3.22 right here. But the movement's up and it's right back down. So we're kind of just sideways, a little bit of a downtrend. Right. But here recently is what's interesting because of what's happening. So we'll move to the 1 hour there. You can see that it's built back up and we're in a breakout mode now. So that's what I want you to keep in mind as I'm explaining this. So we're going to get a bit closer. 5 days, 5 minutes. Look at here. We are over it, holding really well over it. But I would like to see that continue. The bottom of this trend, this most recent trend, which is in red, is 279. And the top of the old trend is around 275. So if it wants to go around in that area but continue, okay. Yep. Great, because that means this trend's continuing the upward momentum. If not, it's going to fall back into these blue lines, which are this is 6 months history here, which is between $2.35 and $2.75. So you wouldn't want to chase that up here if it's just going to fall back in. And you're like, oh, wow, I need to buy some more at $2.30 now. So just make sure that this is going to continue. If you're going to play this one, I do like this company.
Momentum. She broke that 200, which just blew her through the whole channel. Yes. And then she had that second breakout outside the channel. You've got to expect this rocket to slow down a little bit to get all the SMAs congested again, back together, so that they can go. I like the company. I think they've got a lot of strength, a lot going on. But it's this Stratasys deal that's got me wondering. They do have
potential. Like this morning, I mean, just a complete sell-off this morning from like 296 to 280 or $2.80. So a big
Yeah,
sell off
no.
this morning. That's a lot of red
And
there. I
Chris
don't like
got
that.
in at 285 on that bounce.
Yep. And then we, 288 at close and then down to 284. So it needs to continue. This needs
Look
to
at that
keep building up.
aftermarket activity. Holy jeez.
It's selling off again. So.
That's ugly.
So I don't know. But I do know the 270s, the high 270s, low 280s is a good area to look at and keep an eye on. Is it going to hold and maintain? And after market and after hours before pre-market, that's not a good place to indicate that. Like if I played during those times, it would be just for that movement. I would wait until the actual bell rings and let's see what tomorrow's, what kind of momentum we're having tomorrow. Is it going to look more like this right here? Or are we going to kind of hold and start climbing? So you got some time. You can see that this is 9:30 when it opened. This move happened at 9:42. It was done and started climbing back up. So
if you look down at her oscillators down there, you'll see the hourglass for that morning drop. That morning drop is a perfect oscillator.
Oh, right here.
AGX. Yeah. And as soon as they started to spread, you knew it was climbing. You knew, and now you've got that hourglass starting on the other side of the day.
Exactly. So now we're doing it
coming back together again.
Coming back together. So you have some time on this one, and just kind of be patient, wait, see what it's going to do. I wouldn't necessarily buy it here. I don't know what the chatter is right now. I do like this company, but I don't know. Is this the place where you go long? I'm not sure about that just yet.
Glad to see we've got some more people coming in here.
Yeah, just because.
Good to see you, pal.
I just want to say that because we're in breakout mode, you guys. If it's going to revisit and keep bouncing around this area and holding, then okay. But if not, we could come back and have better opportunities in this area, which is between 230 and 275.
That's a lot of power. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see what happens. Let's let it breathe a minute. Back to you, John.
Yeah, I was noticing that the list of tickers grew real quick there.
Let's hope we can keep up. Because we're halfway through the show right now. So
EANF. Yeah. So I'll try to move a little quicker, but I don't want to not make it worth your while. If you don't learn anything, what's the point? Anybody can burn time. Okay. The next one we got here came from Chris Vaughn. Oh, he's a good actor. I like his movies. This is NMTC Neuro One. Jeez, where have I heard this?
That's Vince Vaughn. You're talking about Vince Vaughn.
Shh. Don't confuse the insane.
That's Chris's brother.
I think I just did a video on this one. Neuro One Medical, NMTC. This is another medical device company. They have this new minimal invasive surgery where they actually put a wire and a flap inside the skull on your brain, touching a portion of your brain to read your brain waves, and they record them for 30 days. They've got a needle, and it has this little roll-up paddle that has all these sensors on it, and they put it in there, and then it opens up and lays in the right areas, and a little wire goes down to the right part of your brain to pick up the signals, and they get this recorded information. And this is to help people with epilepsy, tremors, Parkinson's disease. Well, they also have a second device called the 1RF for ablation. Ablation means to destroy it. And basically what they do is, now that they have the signal control of the brain, they can actually read the signals in the nervous system, and they can determine which nerves are causing problems for chronic back pain, and they can ablate it. Remove a portion. Just interrupt that signal between the pain and the brain so your pain goes away. You just don't receive the signal anymore. And this device makes that possible. And the two are working hand in hand. And they've got a partner, Zimmerman something. But they're a big company. They're on the open market. Stock is at $142 a share right now. And they are using their robotic surgery machine to use their devices. And this is out there right now. They just launched it in May of this year. The one product, the needle that goes in the brain, that one has already been approved by the FDA. And the second one, they just submitted the submission for approval. So everything is going on with this one right now. They are making some money. I'm not quite sure where their revenues are coming from, but they've got some coming in, so they're paying their bills. Share structure, isn't bad. It's somewhere under 17.5 million. They suggest 14.2 million. Could be. And our share structure, or our relative volume, we're up a little bit today. Speaking of up, she jumped. Heck, I think I did that video yesterday. Seriously. So she went up today 7.7%, and she's at $1.24. Penny stock on the NASDAQ. Anything jump out today? No, we covered all of this. Form 4s, there's no buys or sells in there. They're moving shares, but it's got something to do with something else. And news, anything new today? That's from 2021. And that was their last one, their submission of their 510 for their 1 RF ablation. So we've got nothing new here, but everything is going on. Absolutely. If you want more information, go watch the video I put out yesterday. But we can take a look at that chart nonetheless.
Yes. Give me just a minute, John. Sorry. I had to clean up something real quick. All right. Because I had some old lines on this one, and it was way under. So I just had to redo that. All right, here you go.
Got to clean the house before you invite guests.
Yeah, well, we were, because we looked at this a few months ago, and we had a trend that was kind of projecting this way, and we're way under that. So I just redrew it. Yeah. Anyway, we're in downtrend, but you can see, hit the bottom of that trend, and we are kind of, lifting back up right now.
Yeah, I think I was calling for a breakout. It's over the 50 right now, I believe, on your 4-hour, but the 1-hour chart looks a little more humbler. Looks like it's got more energy going for it, and it's got to start somewhere. So she's at least pointing the right direction.
It hit the low of that dollar, and it's picked back up since then. That was June 26th. So we might be heading back up now, if nothing else, at least to the upper side of this range that we're in with this downtrend, which would be around $1.60 something, So we could be headed back that way. One of the things to keep an eye on if you're playing something like this is because of these resistance areas right here, you want to see it get over that, which is right at $1.25. Right. So if it can't get over that $1.25 and keep climbing, it's going to come back down and reconsolidate a little bit more. Because it hit its head here a few times on that area, right in this area. So if it can't do that, which we're $1.22 right now, so if it can't do it, then it's over for a little while. It'll cool off. If not, then this trend's going to continue back up, and we're going to retry these $1.50s, or $1.40 areas. And then if it can get past that, we might see that $1.60 range. But it's still technically in a downtrend, you guys. Just keep that in mind. It's not something that you want to, sit there and wait for or hope that it's going to go well. The chart will tell you if it's going to start doing more than that. You'll see it. And right now, it's just the start. It's just the buildup. So you need to see what it's going to do when it comes back, when it bounces back up. But if not, it'll just cool off. And if it cools off next, come back another day and revisit.
Let's see here.
Pretty sure that's the right one. Yeah. That's NMTC.
All right, Thieves won. You got your button. There you go.
I'm trying. My mouse is messing up.
Squeak. Thieves won. VLCN. This is their vehicle here. This is one of them. I was trying to pull up their website because when I jumped over here, what jumps out at me is the piece of news that came out on July 5th. I'll get my highlighter right there. Vulcan Inc. announced today that it provided key Department of Defense staff a demonstration of the all-electric Stag, UTV, and EVO motorcycles under the funded program Electric Tactical Humanitarian Operations Response, or ETHOR. God, what a good name. I like that one. Now, there's a lot of information here. I see they've got something about Amazon that they're working with the AWS, which is a big deal. So there's a lot of information here. And working with government contracts with electric vehicles, you know where the government's heading. They got to get on the program as well. So I like that fact. And I think this one vehicle is pretty cool. So you get an idea of, I don't know how many of these are theirs, but you get an idea of what we're looking at. Let's see what we've got for a share structure here. What? All right, this needs more due diligence. No way, no day. No, this is on the NASDAQ. They've got a minimum share requirement of 1 million shares available to the public. Well, they say outstanding share count is 123,000. No, No,
No, the
no,
chart doesn't even reflect that.
no,
It
my
doesn't.
God.
This doesn't look
So,
like a low float.
so you surely can jump into the financial to get an outstanding share count. You'll get that. You probably won't find the float, and I would like to know what it is. It isn't that, I assure you. Financials for the company. Well, that's not a bad growth, is it? That is 1,000% gains from 2021 to 2022. But they're running at a serious loss. Even with that huge gain going from $500,000 to $4.5 million, they're still 8.8 million. This was 10 million for only the half. Here they did 10 times as much money and they're still at 8.8 million. I don't like that. Let me look at their balance sheet. See what we got here on the annual. 11.5 million in the bank, 22.5 million roughly in assets, 22 million in liabilities. They've just barely got their head above water right now. So they could use a good, serious government contract. That would come in handy.
I would.
Yeah, anybody could. Let me see. This just came out the 28th. Are they putting more shares on the market? Yes, they are. Prospectus to resell. So some big shareholder wants to put his shares back on the market. He wants to sell about 29 million of them. Woo! So it doesn't increase the float. They're just being resold. Let's see what else we got here. Effect. That means one went into effect. Something went into effect, and it'll tell you which one. The S1 back here. So they've got some filings here. Could do some more homework there. Relative volume fell today, about half of what she normally does, and she's already under the radar. About 250,000 down to 137,000. Was there any other news there besides that one that was recent? Yeah. Additional orders from U.S. Army. So they're already getting orders from the government.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, this deserves more. I like government.
And were they making money, John? I can't remember if you covered that yet.
Yeah, they were making
money.
They were creating revenues, but they weren't making any profits.
Okay.
They were really behind. They did $4.5 million worth of revenue, but they're $8.5 million loss from that. Let me see. Vulcan gives key media dealers, international distributors inside look at products. So it looks like they are looking to sell them abroad as well. Sell them to our government and then sell them to the competition. No, I'm sure that's not what they're doing. Announces concurrent closing of a $9 million security offering. Is that public? Yeah, public offering previously. So this was one they just closed. Normally you'll see a bounce at the closing and offering. A lot of companies that will dip as soon as they say we're putting more shares on the market. Most companies don't like that, and you'll see it reflected because if it adds 10% more shares, that's 10% less value. So you should see the stock fall 10%. That's just common sense. If it goes beyond that, could be a buying bargain. Could be. If it's OTT, if it drops 45% for a 10% increase, yeah, that's a bargain. So they've got $9 million here, and that closed, that increased the shares. Then they got $9 million here from an investment banking security offering. Lots of due diligence, folks. There's lots we can do here. But what's most interesting is they're working with the Department of Defense. They're working with the Army. Looks like orders are coming in. Why there's no attention being paid to it, I don't know. The other thing we do have to concern ourselves with, and I didn't have time here to look, if you get your ticker in early, I can do more research. So if you want your stock especially looked at, be the first one. I get this video up, not the video, but the placeholder at about 2:30. So if you come looking for it, it'll be here. I won't, but it will be.
Yeah.
Put your ticker in there. When I get here, I'm here 15 minutes early, and that's why Belmore comes early. She knows. She knows. What was it I was looking for? Right. We need to go through these 8Ks and see how long they've been under $1. Now, they may have been under $1 over 6 months and still be here like that last stock we looked at, but be on their last few days. You need to find this stuff out. If they're under $1, you can't stay on the major exchange for too long. They'll kick you off. And there's a lot of companies falling right now, not because they're in trouble or they're doing anything wrong. We're not here. As far as most of us are concerned, there's not enough investors Half of us have left. We can't afford the trade. Inflation's hit us. The market's stinky. Nobody wants to play this market till it starts bouncing back. So there's just not the volume that there used to be. So a lot of stocks are tumbling off of the OTC. Even Curaleaf, the fifth biggest cannabis company out there doing billions of dollars a year in business, has got over 100 dispensaries. They just got kicked off the major exchange in Canada. They can't cut it. They can't keep the price up. Used to be a $40, $60, $80 stock. I can't remember. It's down too low, way too low right now. So there's a lot of buy bargains right now, but now is not the time to buy them because they're still falling. It's horrible. It is really horrible. All right, let's go take a look at this chart. I haven't seen this one. This will be the first time I've seen Vulcan.
Oh, that's interesting. All right, so if you'll see, I've documented the downtrend, which you see in the blue, and it's only been under $1. It touched it around here, John, but it didn't stay long. It's been under $1 since May. And this right here, I'm thinking is when they announced they were going to have that offering. We were sitting around $1.07, $1.04, and it went all the way down to about 60-something cents. So that's what we're dealing with now. And you can see it a little bit closer. Wow. And so I went ahead and I did on the 1 hour. I have it. This red one is a more recent trend. I mean, if you look at the whole thing, though, you can see it went to the bottom of the trend line for the downtrend. And that's where it's sitting. That's where it's bouncing. And so it is trying to pick up in more recent days. You can see that. We're at the bottom of the old trend, bottom of this new one. And here we are trying to pick back up. So it went down as all the way to 45 cents. Didn't stay there very long. That was at an open on the 29th. And now we hit 75 cents, which was the yesterday. So hit 75 cents. So I'm thinking the way this is looking to me, and with the news that John was just talking about, this one looks like it's trying to consolidate in this area and actually start going back up to me. Now, problem is we are still in a downtrend, though. Technically, overall, you're still in a downtrend. Yeah. The offering has closed, and I think that's what's picked it up, though, because they did announce they closed that offering. I want to say it was just a couple of days ago. So here we go. That's what this is right here. So I think it might start picking back up towards, the upper side of this channel. But do keep in mind you're in a downtrend. Is there money to be made here? Absolutely. You could probably make some money here. But just because the
stock is in a downtrend doesn't mean if you're a day trader, you can't make money on it.
Right
Swing trade, it's still falling.
No,
but there's bounces downhill. You can catch an up bounce as she's falling. Yep. Absolutely.
So the what you would want to watch for, especially in the old trend back here and in the past, this 90-something cent area, you'd want to see it get over that and hold. If it can do that, then we might be starting to head back up the upper trend and start hitting that dollar range and maintaining that. Don't know if they had the warning or how long, but they've been under $1 since middle of May. So it's not too bad. It's only been a month and a half or so. So that's something to keep in mind. And it could start building from here. It really could, guys. So keep an eye on this one, VLCN, that it might actually start shifting directions now this offering's complete. But also keep in mind that management of these types of companies can do this again and again and again. So be careful. Just plan accordingly. All right, John, what we got next?
We are looking at Phil. This was given to me by Kashera. Thank you, Kashera. I was very much into Phil. God, it seems like a year and a half ago. It's hard to remember. There's a big gap in news. I will tell you that much because their news here starts in 2019. Now, maybe it was that far back, but it sure doesn't feel that way. Current news, we've only got two pieces here. Well, if I'm remembering for 2021, there's nothing here. Phil is this big group that is working over in Vietnam in the free zone trade section. And they're building an entire freaking city, in the free zone. And they've got everything. I mean everything. Every building, air conditioning, roads, bridges, sewers, the whole bloody mix. Well, they had everything lined up, and then COVID came. Yeah, so it must have been before 2021. Then COVID came, and everything shut down. And we were waiting and waiting for things to come back to life, and the stock fell and fell and fell. just here recently, I know I read news where they made a deal where they had somebody stepping in with a huge amount of money to help them. Then they backed out. And it was like, I hold this company. That's the only reason I'm aware of most of this news. I keep wanting to average down. And until I see light, I'm not averaging down. I'm just not going to, I mean, she's low right now. I swear. I know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like 0006.
Shoot, I was in the pennies. I don't know what my price was, but this is bloody low. I've lost a lot of money, but I'm not averaging down until I'm sure she's done falling, because she could get down to, well, I don't like playing pinks because most of them are dying. Pink is a bad color. It's the sign of slowly dying. It's not red. Red is good blood circulation. Pink is not. I'm shying away from pinks because most of the stocks I got hurt the most on were pinks. They do a lot of talking. They have big plans, talk a lot, but they don't get a lot done. And then when they back up, we're all left holding bags. So I am looking at QBs. And if you're going to play a pink, you better make sure you get out in a day or two. I'm being serious, folks. Even if you got to take a little loss, don't get caught holding another bag. We don't know how long the market's going to stay down. You don't want all your money tied up for years. So right now, that's what they're working on. I jumped into this piece of news, and I'm not quite understanding that they've made a business cooperation agreement with Sophia Alkali. Felix Global Group and its affiliates will be responsible for providing $300 million US. Well, the money's going the wrong way. Aren't they supposed to be bringing money in? They have this investment that they need people to give to them. So they're investing $300 million in this enterprise and will hold 40% ownership in Sapphire Alkali Global Group, where Sapphire Alkali will hold the remaining 60%. Now, I don't know where this deal is going. They've got a lot of information here. People have to do certain things. But again, they've got a whole city that they want to build. We were talking billions of dollars years ago. Then we were looking at $700 million, 300. It just keeps falling and falling. I don't see it going anywhere. I haven't averaged down yet because I haven't seen any light. I'm still seeing talk, and I'm tired of seeing talk. So that's my point of view on the news and where we're at with it. Wow. Doubled her volume today. She didn't go anywhere either. She broke even.
Yep.
Triple zeros. She's nowhere. But that's what I expect at triple zeros. Just a picket fence. You jump up to 7.
Yeah, that's what you got.
Yeah, and it'll do that not for days or weeks, but months. It just goes straight across, and it's like, why even look at it every day? It's doing nothing. So they got twice as many shares, but of course, at this price, it's easy to get a lot of share count. You can get 1 million shares for what, $600?
Yeah,
a million shares.
A lot. You can get a lot.
Let's see. Financials. I don't think Phil's making anything. Well, they say they're making money, but it's not costing them anything. And $30,000 isn't a lot of money. That's hardly paying the bills. They've got nothing on the quarterly. Disclosures. I don't think there's anything going on here. God, they got a lot of them. They got a lot of 8Ks. I would go through each one of these.
Oh boy.
I have no clue what they are, but this company has a lot of news. I just don't see the news going anywhere. It just seems to hit dead ends and back up, dead ends and back up. And I'm tired of that. Like I said, I've been in this for years and I haven't averaged down yet. So if that says anything, and the chart is probably going to back me up. Show us that pathetic chart.
Going to back you up. It's nothing but a picket fence. You see that? So we've been in this mode since March. It's a 1 hour chart. I only went back 90 days because there's really nothing to look at. We are falling from the 0013 back here, which was the beginning of March. But ever since then, we've hit 0005, and we went between that and 0008. And that is it. That is your range right there. So if you're not getting it at 0005 or 0006, maybe, then it's not worth it. And to be honest, it can still take forever. You might not have enough people buying, enough liquidity. So you could buy millions and millions, maybe even billions of shares. But if you don't have liquidity, you can't sell it. So your money is just stuck. Don't do that.
And that happens a lot right now. There's a lot of stocks like warrants. Yes. I was buying warrants. I had a lot of warrants. Well, warrants died. Now I can't even sell them when I want to. There's just no 3 or 6 shares sell a day. What, for 3 cents a piece? Who buys 6 shares? God.
This is your 180. This is the 4-hour chart right here. We had 0025 back here in January. So I mean, that's some good movement. But you got to, okay.
That's nice.
I don't want to mislead. You're coming off, this is what it's been doing for the past year. It could pop, go to 0026, and it stayed in that area. And now we're kind of just flat. So I don't know, because of the pattern, maybe it's just because of news. I don't know, but the pattern, maybe people are thinking I'll get in this area and I'll wait for this next pop, could happen. There's no guarantee in that though. And it has been a minute since the last one. So last one happened in February of this year. The one before that was January. And all I can tell you is these things, when they do happen, you guys, it happens so fast. And you probably won't have, if you have too many shares, you're going to get stuck, or you probably won't have enough time to even get it sold anyway. So I don't like playing like that. I don't like investing that way. Well, I wouldn't call it investing, but just, trying to make profit that way. I'd rather not. So if I was going to do it, grocery money, if you could take $50, get something and turn it into 150, cool.
I don't see any reason to actually play it unless you're
I don't either.
And you have an investment. Looking for an average down. No.
Yeah, I don't see that. You'll notice it. I mean, this area, because it's in the triple zeros, you'll notice if it starts climbing up. That's when you start want to say, okay, we're not just popping here. We're actually climbing. And usually when that happens, you guys, it's very sneaky. So you have to watch charts like this. If you're interested in those, you have to watch them. They're very sneaky. They're very slow. They do not hit scanners. You don't know until you know. And then when you find out, it's too late. You're the person they were waiting on to sell to. So just careful. All right. We'll put you back on, John.
Thank you. All right. I am not skipping anybody here except those that have already had one looked at. If we have time, we'll come back. I do see your EENF, Kashira. I wanted to look at that one too. But I have seen a lot of buzz. Yes, Jimmy Jean baptized. DFLI. We've been talking a lot about that. That public offering hurt. The company's strong, though. Maybe we'll get a chance to check them out. But I do want to check out TMRC. I have been seeing this ticker jumping up and down. Just keeps coming around, and I haven't had time to look at it. So since somebody's brought it up here, looks to be a mining company. They are in America, Texas. We're a mining company engaged in the business of acquisitions and exploration. Finished the day at $1.13, dropped a little over 4%. On the QB, that means we're getting audited financials. That's legitimate numbers. You can get your fundamentals from that. All the green ticks over here, penny stock exempt. That's a good thing. It means they've been in business for 3 to 5 years, had millions of dollars of assets, or are making millions of dollars in revenue. So they're proving that they're not sitting on their hands. They're doing something. The news. They had new news just come out about a week ago. Texas Mineral Resources and JV partner USA Rare Earth Enhance. Oh, I can't read that title. What the heck is that sort of title? What do we got here? TMRC will have an alternative option aside from cash to meet potential future roundup buy. They're buying more properties here. And it's going to give them a variety of industrial minerals through a 20% interest in Round Top Mountain Project. This is the USA Rare Earth Agreement. Okay. Mining, tough to get the information you need because they can't tell you what anything's worth. You might be able to see, for example, when you see cash funded. All right. So they've made a deal. I see that much. That is pretty recent. Here's another. No, that goes all the way back. So that is it. They've only got one fresh piece of news that came out in June. The most recent behind that is all the way back in March. Completes phase 3 geographical survey in their New Mexico Black Hawk silver mining district. So obviously they've got more than one mine. We'd have to jump around to find out what that is about. I'm looking for catalysts here. All right, this is the 6th. We've got 2 Form 4s. Haven't seen a lot of buying lately. Oh, finally. I look at all these Form 4s because I want to see insiders buying in their own company. That is a good solid sign. And lately, everybody I see has been selling. But selling. Not selling off, though. they're just selling to pay bills. That they'll own 400,000 shares and sell 10,000 shares and get $1,500 for it. I think somebody had to pay the rent. I don't think there's anything to worry about there. But this is nice. They're buying shares for some reason. They were buying as the price came down. They made 3 buys on the 29th, 7,000, 2,500, and 500, and they got them cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So they're interested in what the price is. They were fighting over a penny, but you've got their 10,000 shares, and this was a director. The other one was a week before that, another buy at 95 cents. Another director bought 75,000 shares. So you're looking at, $7,500 investment from a director. We don't see anything from the big hooches, the CFOs, CEOs, or anything like that. But look back here. We haven't got time to go through them. Lots of Form 4s. And if they're all buying, if you see the CEO, CFO, everybody's buying, the secretary's buying, the mailman's buying, get in there. It's a good sign. However, that doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, it could happen 3 months from now. They just may be buying in on a good price, which isn't a bad thing. If you can find places that show you insider information, go and look up this company, and you can actually see when they bought before, and they'll show you the charts after they bought. Did the price rise after they bought in? Did they know when to buy in? And if you can find insiders who are buying at the right times, you ride their shirt tails. Every time you make a buy in their own company, got to buy into this company. Don't know what's going on. Don't need to. He just bought again. Right?
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Don't need to.
Share structure for the company. Maybe 50 million, under 74 million. Financials, I'm not expecting anything. No, a lot of these mining companies are basically research and development, exploration. And I'm not sure exactly all the different metals that they're looking for. Are they looking for battery metals? Could make a difference. If they are, they could get grant funding. If they're looking for silver and gold, nobody's going to fund them. They're going to have to fund themselves. So all of that does come into play. Relative volume today, about double. Yeah, she went from 50,000 to almost 100,000 today. I have seen the ticker around here and there. I go to a lot of different forums, not screaming about it, but people are saying it's going to be running, but then they always say that. What's this chart look like for this one, Lily?
All right, so this one's interesting. I'm going to take you a little bit further back because you need some history on this one. So this is a 5-year chart, but we're looking at the weekly chart. And you can see, of course, back in 2020, boom, 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 we're at $4.70.
Oh, yeah.
And we probably hit that in 21. We did. Okay, so fell back into the trend. We're still in an uptrend here. So overall, an uptrend. And we're a little bit out of it right here. And it's a downtrend for the last, year. Okay, last year's been rough for everybody. But for this video, OTC stock, and it's still sitting above $1. Like it hasn't visited the 60 cents range really until since 2020. That's interesting to me. So I just kind of wanted to point that out. So the last 180 days, your 4-hour chart, we did hit 76 cents. That was the low. And right here, we're pushing. We're trying to break out.
Oh, yeah, that does look
going to get back into this uptrend, which will be around $1.30, $1.35.
I like that.
Ah, there you go. So I wanted y'all to see that. All right, so the last 5 days, 5 minutes, there we are.
It's trying.
Good. And look where it hit. This is going to be a resistance. This is an old trend. So $1.34, it hit that and came back down. So it's really fighting right here. And it may do it. And if it does, then we'll be back into that uptrend. It just kind of dipped out for a little while right here. Past 6 months, past year, I think. But this is a key area to be watching, I think, John. And everyone else. I really do. Like if we can get past this, and it's around $1.20 range. And it's sitting 200? Right there. It is fighting. Yes.
Yeah.
So
I love it. She's consolidated. You just showed us long chart. She's actually at the breakout point with a lot of force behind her. Yeah. She looks ready and primed.
Our 200 is creeping up. We're at $1.01 right here, the 200. So it's right up under it. We're sitting at $1.13 right now. So this area is critical, but if we can hold here and come back into that overall trend that I was showing you, then it's to continue on, and I'm going to take you back to that weekly chart. So you can see. Oh, I didn't go back 5 years. Sorry.
The
Let me take you back 5 years, not 1
sad
year.
thing is I don't
See right there?
understand all the information that comes with mining companies. So to understand
Yeah.
what I know they made a deal, but what's that catalyst worth? So you got to read the charts. You can't guess what this is worth. But she is growing right now. She's definitely showing a change of
Exactly.
power.
And we
Lots of
had people buying, so they like this price. They're collecting
Whoa.
some more. So right here, this is August of last year is when this downtrend started. So that's not terrible. And it did come out a little bit, and that's not uncommon. So I think there might be some opportunity here. This is one I would watch heavily because and you can see it, I'm going to just bring it closer. But you can see right there where it's touching, it's wanting to climb back up and revisit and get back into this normal trend that it's been doing for almost 5 years, 3 years, 4 years. So keep an eye on that. That's crucial right there. I like this one. And I think it might have more legs to it.
Ooh, I see what time it is.
It's time. It's 5:01, you guys.
It is 5:01. We had a few stocks here.
EENF. I know that one. It's trash.
Uh-oh.
It's trash.
Well, there you go.
I mean, I played it. I played it several times. I played it from the triple.
Is there any new news? We've got no news to consider.
The thing is it's just small. Management's not that great. I mean, there's a lot of hype that can go into it.
No SEC filings.
They just don't back it up. And that's my problem with them.
Volume has fallen by 50%. Too many shares. Woo! 15.
They got tons of shares. And that's another thing I don't like.
So really, I can't give you a whole lot of information because the only place and it's going to be a disclosure. All we have are their disclosures, which they don't disclose very much. I mean, it is the least amount of information you can give and stay on the markets. We don't have any SEC filings here. We don't have any news. I would have to do a Google search and hope that somebody wrote something somewhere.
Well, I will say EENF hit the 2-cent range in 2021, which is when I was playing it. And it was
go ahead and show it to us. Because
I
see she's at 0052 and she didn't do any movement today.
Yeah, this is a 3-year. This is a weekly chart. You can see right here. This thing was hyped to the gills.
Whoa.
You got to think. We had a whole different market then.
Don't tell me that's February 2021.
That's March 1st.
Oh,
so God. It was right around the same time.
I'm glad I was there. I can tell the tale.
I was there. And I was actually in this one. I made big hoodles of money that day. But anyway, I've been in since the 000s. And I waited patiently, and this started happening. Sell. The volume was insane. The liquidity was insane. I had plenty of time to get out.
Everybody had money. We all had.
That's right. Money. Whole different market because you probably got a lot of people right now saying, "Well, I'll just buy it right here and hold it until that happens again." Without that hype train, that ain't happening again with all those shares. There's too many shares in this chart, this particular ticker. Too many shares, and I'm telling you, it was hyped, and it only got 2 cents. You see what I'm saying? There's too much shares, and it's just impossible to move. Like that was an anomaly right there that it moved that much, and it's all the planets aligned. The market was great. We had new investors. It was hyped to the gills. Wall Street bets, Facebook, Twitter, whoever. So it made a lot of money, but it was short-lived, maybe 2 weeks, if that. The build up. So if you go down to your 4-hour chart here, you can see where it's fallen out. It might be a slight uptrend, but it fell out of it.
It is looking tempting right now.
Right now it is. It's building back up from 0041. It is building up right here.
But why?
Sitting around. I have no idea. They probably still are hyping it to some extent because this was supposed to happen and all these oil wells and all this stuff. We're going to have big kudos of oil. Okay, well, we have a president that's not going to let us use it. So we're not going anywhere right now. That's how I feel about it. But if this one is played accordingly. In, out, take your gains. I will get a little bit closer to the 5-day. You see how it does have a nice little build up here. But where we're going to have a problem is when it comes back into that resistance. And I'll have to take you back to the 4-hour chart. when it starts trying to get back into this channel right here, if it can. So right now it is trying to heat up. There may be some potential here, and you'll find out probably around the 006 area if we're going to break back into this channel and continue on, but we may not.
The problem is that there was a decrease in volume. We're not seeing the volume come into this. So if you've got no catalyst and you've got no volume, well, that's 2 out of 3 you really need. So even though she looks tempting, she doesn't smell right to me. She just doesn't smell right.
It hit a little low bubble right here, and it's got a little bit of play right here, and it's probably going to just do that for a while. I don't.
I mean, she could be a play, but it's strictly technicals. We've got nothing else but the chart, so watch it closely.
In and out. But I don't like putting faith into it. It's going to be a big thing. It could be one day. I don't know. It's supposed to be a big thing 2 years ago when I was playing it. I took my money. I don't hope. So that's just me. That's just me.
1,000,000% gain. Yeah, I hope you took your money.
I did. And I just, like I said, I don't hope on tickers and stocks. I just take the play, make the play, get the money. Hey, LT. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us.
I appreciate all of you stopping in. Some of you came a little late. You gave us tickers. Sorry we couldn't get to you, but I really appreciate you being here. And just so you know,
you got to come back next Thursday.
Me and Lily go through all of the comments, see if anything we missed. We look up tickers. Lily gets all worried. Oh, do you think I should do this one next week?
Yeah, try.
So we do take your comments seriously. Even if we don't get to them, we still look at them and talk about them. And I appreciate you guys. I truly do. We're going to be here next Thursday, same time, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Try to bring us some hot tickers, folks. Share them with us. Don't worry. Good for you, girl. You keep bringing us stocks that are worthy of watching. I love your finds. We ought to team up. You and I could be something hot.
Right. Maybe we can get Belmore to co-host with you, John.
Ooh, surprise guest with viewers.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Why not?
It's a thought. It's a thought. All right, guys. We'll catch you next week. Good luck with your trading. We'll see you then.
See ya. Bye.
Yes, I'm going to do it.
Always.